Yes.
Yeah, now we're on.
Right. Yes. Got the notification that an ad break is coming up. I'm like, Johnny, I think we are on, man. I hate to tell you this.
Where's my terminal? Why isn't... What's going on with Scorekeeper? I just noticed the Scorekeeper's not showing up-to-date scores. Let me refresh and try saving it here. There it goes. Okay, I was just out of date on my end. Perfect. Okay. Well,
Johnny, have you contacted your internet service provider? Are we ready to go tonight?
Oh yeah, we're good. We're good.
Jeez Louise.
Last time, well, yeah, because last time they pushed out like a config update to my modem. Is what they did.
Right.
So everything's been rock solid.
A wild thing to discover at 9:08 or so when we're starting the show. Yeah, fucking Comcast, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're not regularly video chatting, during the day, it's hard to notice when things aren't working quite right? Because like
right.
when you watch any kind of streaming service, it's everything's buffered. You're fine.
Sure.
You can deal with crap going down for a second.
Right.
Live video though, no way.
Yeah, different story. Speaking of a different story, we can start the show and then Johnny can tell us the story.
All right. Let's see here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to Game That Tune.
Oh, yeah. What is going on, everybody? It's Game That Tune, and we are back in the house once again. Oh, man. It's your boy, John Harrington here. I got John Regan with me. Say hey.
Hey.
And I got Jesse Moore. Say hey.
Hey.
Hell yeah, guys. Welcome back. Game That Tune in the house for the third time in the year 2025. What a time we've got ahead of us, man. Oh, man, it's Game That Tune where we're going to listen to video game tunes, try and guess each other's games based on the songs. We're going to do a little trivia. We're going to do a little goofing. We're going to tell some stories. We're going to hang out, kick it, have some fun. The winner at the end of the night picks the theme for the next episode and plays some of their bonus tunes. And the winner last episode, of course, was me, your boy John Harrington. And, man, I was in the mood for a theme. What a theme it was. A couple of weeks ago when we were making the show, we were just coming off of, I was just back at work. Winter break had ended, and, I had missed out on my family's little trip that they do up to the mountains in North Carolina and or Tennessee. They do a nice little winter trip up to those mountains, do a little hiking, do a little sledding, stuff like that. And, I was having a yearning for the mountains. I was just, I was like, I missed my mountain trip this year. And so I declared that the theme was going to be mountains. And then in the last couple of weeks down here in old sunny Florida, we got that, I don't know if I guess the Weather Channel probably named the storm or something. That's some bullshit marketing stuff. But we got that big Arctic blast or whatever, and here in Tallahassee, where we don't usually get any amount of snow, we got 4 inches of snow. And so I was good on the mountains. I got to go sledding right here in Tallahassee. So I changed the theme. It's no longer mountains. It's just a simple, plain old free play. We can do anything we want, because you know what? I was cleansed of my desire to go to the mountains just by stepping outside my front door. And then stepping right back inside because it was so fucking cold. Like, I don't want snow outside my house. I don't know about you guys. Jesse, obviously you live in Jacksonville. You have no worries for this. Johnny, how do you feel living in a place that sometimes gets snow more frequently than, say, Tallahassee, Florida?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care for the shoveling of the snow. That's always a pain in the ass.
Yeah, the working of it, yeah.
Yeah. But
we didn't do any of that, and neither did the city of Tallahassee. We missed a fucking week of work because of this. They did not know what to do.
Oh yeah, if you're not prepared for it, I mean,
no. I figured out any road in town that was running east to west that had a building or like trees on the south side, based on where the sun's moving at this time of year, the ice and snow never melted for 3 days. So the city just didn't do anything about it. Nobody went anywhere for several days. And
Oh,
yeah, I
beautiful.
got a paid week off. It was kind of cool.
yeah. Oh, it's nice.
But yeah, no, but I've had my fill of ice and snow and mountain conditions. So we're just doing a free play, so we can do anything we want.
So when it snowed, did it snow a mountain? Like, where did the mountain come from? Like,
Well,
I imagine it's still pretty flat, right? Or
I mean, Tallahassee has some hills, John.
let's go. Okay, let's
Some-
go a few hills.
Some Florida hills. Like I'm not going to oversell these hills, but there are enough areas in Tallahassee that you can go and take, a Florida sled, for which in our case was a cooking pan and a plastic kiddie pool, and you can get some good action going down these hills, man. It kind of scratched the itch. What, Jesse?
Now, are you aware? And if you're not, that's cool. But are you aware that some mountains do not have snow? Like,
I mean,
what?
I'm aware of that. Yes.
Did honestly your theme wanted to be snow? Because
Well,
I feel like you could still deal with a mountain and not have any snow. And I feel like the biggest reason you didn't want to do the mountains anymore was snow related.
Well, no, I mean, that's the thing. I wanted to go to the mountains and see the snow and hang out and have a nice time with my family. So, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, like, in the last couple of years, our winter trips have been to the mountains. So I do kind of think winter and, snow when I think of the mountains. But, when I was younger, we also did summer trips to the mountains. So, maybe come this summer when we don't go anywhere for a vacation, I'll revisit the mountain theme, because, I mean, I love summer mountains. Swimming in a lake, taking a nice hike, going rafting, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Summer mountain trips are the shit.
Well, summer mountains and summer hills. So
Oh, I thought Johnny was going to play a sound for that.
no, it was too good.
Yeah, it was so good it doesn't deserve a sound. There we are. So yeah, anyway, the theme isn't mountains; it's free play now. So we just do whatever we want. That's the thing. That's just what we're gonna do. We fucking moved the show to a different night. We changed the theme.
Fucking
it's just
chaos. In
Whole new
here.
show.
exactly.
Bullshit.
Thank you. Yeah, you've set yourself up for that one. But yeah, so fucking, it's a free play episode of Game That Tune. I think there will still be some mountain stuff, probably. Some, like the unmelted snow that's still on the ground here in Tallahassee. Over a week later, still some residual mountains. I saw some fucking snow when I was taking my son to school today. There was still
That's
some
fucked
fucking
up.
ice on the ground. If the sun doesn't shine there, you could still have ice.
You got
That's why
that
it's in my taint.
weird radioactive snow.
Yeah, that weird Tallahassee snow. But anyway, yeah, let's do some tunes. Johnny, hit it.
Game 1.
Yep. Try it again.
Game 1.
right, guys. So this game is based on a show that this show is widely regarded as the most popular and successful series that was filmed in Super Mario Nation. Filmed in Super Mario Nation.
What country?
All right, who's got some answers for me?
Oh, we
Hell
are
yeah.
go.
Ooh. All right, so Jesse says Northern Exposure, which is incorrect, and John says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go. This is Thunderbirds, the 1990 NES game based on the 1966 TV series.
That's up to you to get that right, Johnny. I cannot correct you.
Yeah, I've seen maybe one full episode.
Sorry, 1965 TV series. I was off by a year.
Awesome. Yeah, I never watched Thunderbirds, obviously. Like, was the whole thing marionettes?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Power Rangers where they had
No.
some parts that were marionettes and some parts with humans or anything. It was just a marionette show.
All marionettes.
Not that Power Rangers had marionettes, but you know what I'm saying. Like
God,
a
I
blend,
wish. Imagine if Power Rangers had marionettes.
a
They
blend of
probably had a
like humans in costumes and then like American kids at the juice bar talking. Yeah, if Thunderbird, I thought maybe Thunderbirds was like that. Like when they went into action mode, it was marionettes.
God, that
no.
would be incredible.
That'd be pretty funny. They have no budget for human-sized action. They just have to be marionettes anytime there's danger. I think, I don't know. Somebody should make that. But I mean, a whole show of marionettes is good too, I guess.
Yeah, I
Did
definitely-
Johnny? I'm sorry, I don't know if you're a Thunderbirds expert, but I'm just going to go ahead and ask. Did like these people ever hook up with Jim Henson? Like,
I don't think so. I think that they're all kind of doing their own thing at the time. I
Right,
don't know if
because the Thunderbirds are not Muppets;
no,
they're marionettes.
they're electronic marionettes.
electronic.
Yes.
Now,
Their heads-
that's impressive. I didn't
Their
know
heads oversized to hide the motors and stuff that are in there. Because it's basically kind of like Team America World Police. Like
that. Okay, yeah,
it's very similar. Well, not in content, I guess, but in terms
yeah.
of how
In
it
execution,
works.
not so much content.
And I'm just kind of blown away. Like, it seems like they're like I started. I made the mistake of clicking the link for Super Mario Nation, on the Wikipedia for this. There were so many marionette shows. There
Yeah.
were a lot of them.
I'm not surprised by
it's
that. That
fascinating.
seems very of that time.
It looks really hard to do too. Like, I wish I liked these shows more because I feel like they're like some kind of feat. Because like, I don't know if you've seen or played with any marionettes, but like they just kind of like dangle around and stuff, and then they have all these cool like model like rockets and cool spaceships, and then there's these little explosions and like smoke everywhere and sparks. I don't know. It seems like it'd be, if you were in a certain mood, you'd probably really get a good time.
Yeah, and like I mean, I think the marionettes themselves are something like 2.5 feet or 3 feet tall. So like these rockets and planes that they're building are a pretty good size. Like they're they're not. It's not your standard like 1/100th scale model or whatever. They're actually quite big.
Yeah, the more I learn about like puppetry and marionettes and like Muppets and shit, the more I'm impressed by all of it. It's fucking cool. Like,
Yeah.
they put those like the Jim Henson like Dreamer or whatever documentary series, or maybe just a documentary, not a series, on like Disney Plus. It was fucking awesome. Idea Man, that's what it was. I don't know if you guys watched that one.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But like, dude, they show some of the ways they did like the behind the scenes Muppet stuff, and it's like fucking insane that they've made so much content in this method. Like, it's kind of like keeping the Game That Tune podcast going for like 9 years. It's like, I'm sorry, like to do the Rainbow Connection thing in the Muppet movie, they had to like install a tank in an actual swamp and have Jim Henson stand in there and like, it's fucking crazy. Like, it's not just a puppet. It's the fucking, it's really impressive doing that shit. No, I don't think that the Thunderbirds are that impressive, but it's still impressive that they gave it any amount of effort.
For the 60s.
I do. I feel like there's this period in the 60s where they would just let you do anything you wanted on TV.
Right.
Like,
Do you have a camera? Do you have an idea? Here,
you got an idea? We need stuff. Let's do it.
Yeah. Turns out there's a lot of hours in the day that we need to fill with programming. People really like this thing. I don't know if you noticed, but like people are kind of, disrupting their lives to stare at this thing. We really need to put something on.
We started a whole 4th channel. We've got nothing to put on it now. Like,
oh no.
Oh God.
So anyway, so what's the game Thunderbirds like?
Oh, it's just shoot 'em up. You're flying
word.
planes, and it's got cute little animated cutscenes.
That's cool. Top down?
Yeah, top down. Yeah, shoot 'em up.
Word.
Yeah.
Is there a puppet sex scene?
No,
You're getting it crisscrossed with Team America again, there, Jesse. Those are again 2 different things.
No, I don't think they ever aired that episode of Thunderbirds. I'm pretty confident that. I know I just said they let you do anything on TV in the 60s. I think they had a few limits.
God, they shouldn't though. I mean, they are just puppets.
Yeah.
Like, unless they like really, lovingly, like, I don't know, dangle the genitals together or whatever. Like, really detailed puppet genitals. Then that's a problem. But like, I don't know, man. Let the puppets simulate the acts. I don't see the problem.
Can you imagine you're watching this puppet TV show with your friend and the sex scene comes on? He's like, "Yeah, I worked on the show. I did the genitals." Like,
yeah, exactly.
And that's
those genitals are bigger than you think. They're not a little like 1/100th scale. They put a lot of detail in those genitals. Bro, stop saying genitals. Sorry, I'm just proud of my work. Oh God. Yeah, that would be pretty funny if there was any other. Actually, I guess they made that like filthy Muppet movie about the murder a few years back.
Oh, like Welcome to Murderville or something.
The Feebles.
No, it's like the Happy Town Murders or something like that.
Yeah, something Melissa McCarthy, I think.
Really crude puppet playing a detective, and it was like somehow Brian Henson was involved. And it kind of was like, the last nail in my coffin of like respecting that guy. Like, oh, that's cool. You're not your dad. Like, your dad, he knew the whimsy. Like, there's just certain things you don't do, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't make an adult Muppet movie. Like, no.
I thought you meant the Peter Jackson one. Is it Meet the Feebles or something?
I never saw that either.
It's pretty atrocious.
Right. I imagine. Peter Jackson, before he made The Lord of the Rings, was kind of an atrocious dude.
Yeah.
And even after he made it, he still maintained some level of atrocity.
Movie.
Yeah, you saw that King Kong movie.
And that motherfucker just won't comb his hair. So, just fucking A, dude. You're about to win 11 Oscars. Fucking run a comb through it. But yeah, anyway. So nothing to say about Thunderbirds the game, huh?
No. So I was just at MagFest last week, and that was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah, it was MagFest.
Did you play Thunderbirds there?
No, I absolutely did not.
Any Thunderbirds cosplay?
I wouldn't know it if I saw it, to be honest.
Nobody with a bunch of strings dangling on them.
No genitals dangling.
Yeah, no detailed genitals.
No. I did. God, I had this one moment where I felt so. Speaking of costumes, there's somebody dressed as Danny DeVito's Ongo character from It's Always Sunny.
Ongo?
Basically, it's Danny DeVito in a white wig. That's kind of looks
Oh, I
like
see.
what's it called? God, now I'm wondering, like, because it looks like, who's that artist who said everybody's gonna be famous for 15 minutes?
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
It's clearly inspired by Andy Warhol. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, was that guy just as Andy Warhol? And I assumed he was Ongo from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, because he's.
That's a good question, Johnny.
'Cause-
That's a very, very good question.
'Cause either way-
one of those people is a very well-known
Yeah.
figure.
Judging
The other one had
harshly, or-
both me and Jesse like audibly shrugging on this show.
So, God, now I feel even worse about what I'm about to tell you, because like, Ongo's whole thing is, he's trying to like buy some art, and he's trying to show off how stupid art is or something, and he's calling everything derivative. So I see what I think is Ongo, and I just shout derivative, and he didn't seem to care for it. Like,
ooh,
I was like, oh,
man,
no.
that's a big hint.
And then I immediately felt terrible, and I was like, oh no, that's a great costume. And just like walked away. And I was like, from now on, if I like a costume, I'm just gonna say I like your costume and call it a day. It's a lot more straightforward. Like,
Yeah, don't just try to hit him with an immediate reference. Wow, yeah, Johnny. Actually, I'm looking at the Danny DeVito thing now. This is so it was a white wig, you say?
Yeah.
Because it also maybe just based on the fact that it's Danny DeVito, it looks a lot like the lady from The Incredibles that designs the costumes.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, so like a white-haired Edna Mode, or Andy Warhol, or Ongo from Sunny Philadelphia.
Shit.
But
Or what
the
if
fact
that was just how they looked?
right, exactly. That's the maybe that wasn't even a costume, Johnny. Maybe you just encountered a small, eccentric, white-haired person.
Oh no!
And yelled derivative.
While holding a beer.
You gotta be derivative. You gotta be more careful, Johnny.
What do you call
Really
me?
offend somebody.
But,
Shit, man.
A more fun story was at one point I was getting on an elevator to go up to the video game music nightclub that they got going on, and I hold the door, and one Wolverine and like 8 Batmen all get on the elevator with me.
All right.
Nice.
And the Batmen are all kind of these like shitty, cheap, like intentionally bad-looking Batman costumes, right? They're all like cardboard masks, and things
And the
like that.
Wolverine was Hugh Jackman in full like Deadpool and Wolverine gear.
No, the Wolverine was jeans and a white undershirt and the Wolverine
Yes.
claws and the hair. And that's about it.
X-Men Origins
It's like
Wolverine.
dope. Yeah, it looked really good. So all the Batmen are talking in like the Christian Bale voice, and
Oh yeah.
and so I have like, guys, I just want you to know this might be the greatest elevator ride I've ever been on. And one of them just immediately turns and be like, "It's also the safest." It's like
I don't know,
incredible. Like,
I mean,
this is the best.
there's a lot of collateral damage in those Christian Bale Batman movies. Johnny, you could have been blown up moments later, or gunned down by the Batmobile when it's the third movie. There, you could have been fucking. You had the Talia al Ghul done unto you, but yeah, that's cool though. I love crossing paths with numerous Batmen.
Yeah.
You should if you got more Magfest stories, you should save them for a segment later in the episode where I will edit less repetitive music into the background of this, because this is all going to be happening right now with Thunderbirds music. So if you got more Magfest stories, just pepper them in.
All right.
But we should keep moving away from the Thunderbirds.
Bye, Thunderbirds.
Game
Thunderbirds
2.
are gone.
It's the episode title.
Okay, guys, so this game's prologue has a hidden bird room that's located above the starting screen. It's full of colorful flutterbirds that fly away when the player nears them, and it serves no purpose to the game or to its story. All right, guys. Hope you're feeling great about that. Want to thank all the podcast listeners for sticking around through all 11 minutes of that song. Let's see what you got, fellas. Oh no. Johnny says Lisa, and Jesse says cliffhanger. Awesome game to guess, but no, unfortunately, it's a different mountain game. You were in the right area there, Jesse. No, this is Celeste, fellas.
Nice.
Yes,
Named after
quite
the soda.
nice. Say what?
Named after the soda.
Is there a soda called Celeste?
I think so. It's like an off-brand something, like a Sprite or something.
Okay, sure. No, yeah, I don't know that it is named after a soda, but it is a game about climbing a mountain. Jesse, have you not played this?
I have not, because people said it was one of those really hard platformers.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hear the words really hard, it's like,
Well, I mean, but what about really hard? But I would say it's pretty forgiving and pretty accessible, pretty playable.
I feel like I do need to check it out, because I remember when Guacamelee came out, a lot of people said that it was very hard, and I beat that game.
Yeah. No,
and
I
it
don't
was.
consider Guacamelee especially hard.
I was like, it was challenging some of the
Right.
going through the different times and stuff, but I didn't ever considered it hard. Not, well,
No,
at
I
least
would
not
consider
unfair.
Guacamelee hard in the way that it's an indie Metroidvania, and
Yeah.
those are they're hard to keep my attention with.
But
At some point I just don't finish them.
I thought it was more
Um,
along the lines of like a Super Meat Boy, which I can't play those games.
okay, well I haven't played Super Meat Boy, but I think Celeste is more along those lines. Johnny, you played Celeste, right?
I played. I want to say
You played the Pico 8 Celeste?
Yeah, I played the Pico 8 Celeste.
Okay, yeah. So, the original 8-bit Celeste was like a game jam game that they made in that Pico 8 engine, and they got the gist of the game. It's a smaller screen, obviously, so the little, puzzles and screens that they're on are not as complicated as the final release. But all the gist of the game is there. You jump and you have a directional double jump, and it's a platforming game.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever got past the first screen on the Pico 8 version.
See, I was actually I looked it up in browser today getting ready for the show, and I can't really play it using like a laptop keyboard. I would have to be playing it with a controller in my hands. But yeah, I could still make it past the first screen. It's it's a little tricky to do like diagonal arrows on a laptop keyboard in a browser game. And have it be like timing jumps. So yeah, the Pico 8 version, not the most playable, but thankfully Celeste, the actual game, is playable on like everything. It's fucking all over the place, and it's really good. You should, Johnny. You've expressed in the past you like a little bit of a bust your ass platformer kind of thing,
do.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this one, I really, I think it's pretty fucking. It's pretty accessible because it's not like you go back very far when you die. Like you die a lot and it keeps track of that. And at the end, I don't think it tells you the number of times you died to shame you, but it is like, it tells you, all right, yeah, you fucking died this many times. I think my number when I beat the game was in the 400s or so because it just happens, man. But when you die, you just like immediately go back to the like beginning of the screen that you were on. The puzzles, whatever you want to call them, the rooms are not especially large, so it really is just kind of learn it through repetition and failing a little bit, and eventually you get through it. And it kind of speaks to the theme of the game. I mean, the character is climbing the mountain because they're feeling compelled to, and climbing a mountain is a tough thing to do. So you got to get through these puzzles and these weird rooms and learn these new things, and you fail, you stumble a little bit, but you just get right back up and try again. Like I would never subject my fucking like 6-year-old to this game. Because he would freak out the first time, and you just can't. I can't make it clear to him.
You'd have to get rid of video games again.
Yeah, it's like just try again, man. There's literally no penalty for trying again. There's no lives. There's no game overs. Just keep trying. But we as adults, I think, can appreciate that. It's I don't know. I think it's really a really good, really playable game. Johnny, I thought you would have played it by now. Because it's it's like this darling indie game with this legendarily great soundtrack.
Yeah.
And fantastic. Just I don't know. It's like it is just so simple. It's like deceptively simple. I can't remember it. It's been a few years since I played it, but it's like it really is just like jump and then another directional jump. And I mean, like you find places where if you jump through this certain thing, it recharges your jump. They don't like pile on mechanics. That's not a Metroidvania. There's no combat. It's just it's a platforming game. And
Sounds
yeah,
nice.
man, it's a blast. I bet you it's on Switch right now for like less than $10. Yeah, I bet you it's very accessible at this very moment. And they've supported it with some DLC. There's like Celeste, the B-sides, and then there's a farewell thing. So like the game's got hours and hours of fun, if you consider this fun, hours and hours of content. And if you want more, then there's more. I don't know. I think it's just a really charming, really well done game. Like, I really appreciate a game that's like I said, like deceptively simple. A game that really challenges people. Because obviously there's also challenges where like you go back to get all the collectibles, you find the hidden stuff. But it at its core, It's really a pretty simple, straightforward, yes, sometimes very hard platforming game. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
Does
Um,
can you think of any times you felt challenged, Johnny, at MagFest?
oh yeah, tell us about a mountain that you had to climb at MagFest, be it literal or figurative.
Yeah, was there an actual mountain?
Well, so I got to play the Sega Sonic the Hedgehog arcade game for the first time in my life.
Oh wow, cool.
With the whole trackball and everything. That game is hard as shit. Like,
Okay,
because
no, see,
in order to make
this is
Sonic
good.
run, you were just constantly rolling that trackball, and
Oh.
like you would think years of masturbating would make me ready to have this repetitive motion again and
Wait,
again.
how
But I
do
don't
you
usually. It turns out I don't usually do
masturbate?
that. I don't usually don't go this way, right?
No.
So like if they can have to where maybe I get to hold the trackball and maybe
A track tube,
spin it from
Yeah.
under it, would work a little bit better. Or yeah, some kind of tube mechanism.
a
You
joystick.
gotta, what? You need the track ball sack to palpate it. and
Yeah,
mess
if I
it all
could,
that
if I
way?
could fondle the track balls, that would work out pretty well.
A track
But
prostate.
Johnny, I feel like we're getting a really sickening window into how you masturbate now, and I don't appreciate it at all. Like, I'm sorry, you weren't ready for the trackball motion. Like that somehow is 1-to-1 with you masturbating. I'm so confused. God damn. But okay, cool. Well, that's not really where I expected that to go. I'm glad you got to play that hard arcade game.
Yeah.
So, so that prepares you for Celeste. You're ready, man. You played a
Yeah.
frustrating game with
Made
a
you think
frustrating
about
control
that.
system, and an unknowable weird connection to your own genitals.
Genitals.
You should be able to play Celeste that, in my opinion, doesn't have a frustrating control system. Again,
Or
deceptive.
genitals.
Jump and jump again. It's really straightforward. It's good. It's a tight platformer. So, now that you've played the frustrating old Sonic arcade game, you should be good to go.
yeah, no, I think I'm ready. It looks like it's $20 for the Switch version of this, which is
Oh, okay. Well, that's I'm not saying it's not worth that. It's a great game. It's totally worth that. But
I don't know how much it is.
I
on Steam.
figured I bet you it goes on sale quite frequently. I feel
be
like it's a
cheaper on
game that
Steam.
many have played.
Yeah, I'm double checking here now because usually, like most games, I feel like whatever they cost on the Switch, it's like half that on Steam every time. But
Yeah. Or maybe like 75% less on Steam.
looks like in this case, no matter where I buy it, those $20.
Wish list it. Wait until it's on sale.
Yeah,
Get it then. Enjoy it. Or drop $20 on it. It's fucking worth 20
that's
bucks.
$20.
The people that made the game, they fucking earned it, man. They put a lot of love and care into the game. Fantastic soundtrack. Really, really great game. I don't know what I need to look up what these people have done lately. I don't think there's a Celeste 2, but hey, Switch 2 is coming soon, so maybe soon.
Ooh.
But yeah, so Celeste is cool. This was a fan request made in Discord, of course, from Beast Pond. Patreon Absurd Fan Beast Pond with a fantastic mountain themed request that I felt the need to keep on the show because I can't just do a full rug pull and say we're not doing mountain things. And when you request Celeste, legendary soundtrack, it gets on the show. So great game, great tunes. You both, I'll Venmo you $20. You guys go play Celeste. Jesse, stream it. I want to see how frustrated you get.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it will. And Johnny, let's keep going, man.
Game 3.
Man, all right, guys. So try to stick with me. See if you figure this trivia out. This is the last game of its genre released before the announced discontinuation of the Sega Dreamcast. One more game in this genre would ultimately be released for the Dreamcast, bringing the total number of games in this genre for the Dreamcast to 6. I am enjoying the looks of utter concern and confusion on the face of Johnny as he attempts to figure out this game.
I think I have it.
I hope so. Let's see what you Dreamcast boys came up with. Jesse says Dante's Peak. Sadly, incorrect. It's no longer a mountain thing, Jesse. It's back to Freeplay. Johnny says Real Big Fishin', wild. The big was in parentheses. He's correct. This is Real Fishing Wild for the Dreamcast. Yes.
I think about like 6 games in a genre on the Dreamcast.
Uh-huh.
They did a lot of fishing games.
Why? Why did they do so many fishing games?
They made a whole fishing controller that you could buy.
So that's the thing. Do you think it was they were planning on doing a lot of fishing games, and then the fishing controller came out, and that's that was like fortuitous for them, or do you think it was they made Sega Bass Fishing, and the fishing controller came out, and all the developers were like, "Fuck yeah, that's awesome! Let's make fishing games."
You gotta move these controllers.
Yeah. Gotta give so many people bought that fishing controller. Everybody's gonna buy the next fishing game. They don't just want it for one game. Surely they'll buy 5 more fishing games for their Sega Dreamcast. I just I love it, man. The fishing controller is one of the funniest relics, a very of its time thing. Dreamcast, beloved, fantastic system for things like this. And yeah, Real Fishing Wild. Or as apparently it was known in Japan, Fish Eyes Wild. Turns out the Real Fishing series, it's gone on after this. There are now 17 games in the Real Fishing series, or as they call it in Japan, Fish Eyes.
Take that, Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Suck it. Real Fishing got there way before you.
Final Fish-Sea.
Mm-hmm. There are final fish in the sea. Yes.
That was really
But yeah, I don't know, man. Johnny, have you ever played anything with the? Have you ever held yourself a the Dreamcast fishing controller?
No, I've always wanted to because you don't have to use it with fishing games. You can technically use it with any game. I've
Right.
seen footage of people playing Soul Calibur with a fishing controller.
Right. That's what's so awesome about it.
Yeah. But
Ugh.
yeah, I feel like the late '90s, early 2000s, there was a whole thing of like every game coming out in Japan had fishing in it.
I mean, fishing is like a mini game in things. It's
Exactly.
pretty cool, and they used it a lot.
Like you go back a couple years to Ocarina of Time and Pokemon that had pretty extensive fishing. Or maybe not extensive. It's just one small part of the game.
Your Harvest Moon games.
Your Harvest Moon games. Your Sonic Adventure with Big the Cat. His whole fishing thing.
They
So-
had
and-
those fishing RPGs like Legend of the River King and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. King Salmon.
Do they just not go fishing in Japan? Is this some kind of like, to them it's a crazy thing to go do? So they make a
Right.
game out of it?
That's really kind of the question. Like, why so much fishing? Like, or is it that it's so commonplace in Japan to go fishing that it becomes like, okay, well, yeah, we got to have a fishing mini game. Like everybody,
Yeah,
no
it's
matter
probably
what
like that.
crazy fantasy world they're living in, they would take a minute to stop and go fishing.
Yeah.
Like, what world are we writing here? If the main character doesn't stop and fish for a few minutes,
Because
Like-
even in like early Dragon Ball, Goku would stop and go fishing.
with his tail, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I chalk that up to him having a tail and needing to eat,
Well-
take care of himself in the wild. But like,
Dragon Ball Z, Sans tail, he would go in the water and get like giant fish and stuff.
oh word, okay, maybe it's just a Japan thing. Maybe they just love fishing so much that they have to include it in
Yeah.
all games. I mean, I don't know, but then that's the question: why also make I don't know, this many fishing games for one poorly received and ill-fated system? That's the like, I don't know that any of the other games that came out, any of these fishing games that came out for Dreamcast were ported to other systems. I think these the Dreamcast is where you go to fish. Like,
That's
Well-
the dream.
Hey.
And you cast.
yep, it's right there.
So
Yeah.
Sega did have that whole arcade system that's based on the Dreamcast at the time. So I do wonder if any of these were also arcade cabinets, right?
Probably.
Because like Crazy Taxi is basically just an arcade, cabinet, right?
Right.
Put on the Dreamcast. So I wonder if there are any arcade cabinets with fishing controllers built into them, or if they'll let you bring your own fishing controller from home and plug it
Plug
into
it
the
in.
cabinet.
Now we're talking. I bet you that was probably a thing. No, that's the thing. So, like with the Sega things, I understand the arcade connection, but like, these other companies getting into the fishing game just seems odd. Like, I would think that as I don't know, like obviously other companies attempt to make like a Mario Kart clone for every Nintendo system. So maybe Natsume and these other companies were looking at the Dreamcast and being like, well, Sega already released the ultimate fishing game, Sega Bass Fishing, and people liked it. So like, we should try to make our own, right? Like, people, that's what they want. They want a fishing game. Okay, let's make a fishing game.
You know
Like,
what I really want is I want a fishing arcade game. You know how there's a lot of, say, racing arcade games where you get to sit in a car,
Right.
or sit in a plane.
Sit in a
Oh,
boat.
I want to sit.
I
in
know
a
where you
boat.
want to sit.
I want to sit in a boat, and I want to have the outboard motor behind me, and I want to have to like.
Ooh,
turn
wow,
and
that's
steer
where
it.
that.
That's like a $2 machine.
Dude, I bet you Suzuki at some point was pitching this. Like, we need a full like motorboat arcade game with a fishing rod controller.
An
Oh,
ice chest full of beer.
yeah.
Mhm. It serves the player beers.
It splashes water on you.
Yeah. You get to keep the fish that you catch from the game.
It gives you real fish.
Is there a
It
Bill
dispenses
Dance
real
mode
fish.
where like everything goes wrong and you get like your like line caught on your hat and it goes into the water and
God.
you fall into the like the swamp and stuff.
Imagine if
Imagine
the
it,
owner
man.
forgot to restock the fish for a few days.
Well, that's not on him. That's on Sega, man. It's like, the game
Wait.
somehow it
There's
somehow
actual
spawns
fish.
fish. It grows fish.
So are you put some quarters in and then they just put you on an actual boat and let you go
Mhm.
fishing in the
Yeah.
middle of the arcade?
It's not an arcade game at all. It's just fishing.
Wait, I'm fishing. What the fuck?
Oh man, you Suzuki, you son of a bitch, you did it again.
You
You
got
got
me.
me.
God, hang on a second. This isn't arcade fishing. This is just fishing.
Wait, I'm actually in the fantasy zone.
God, yeah. I mean, I love arcade games. It would be nice if more of them were just like 1-to-1
They just
of what you're supposed to be doing.
just take you outside.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the best arcade game is the one that pushes you away from the arcade and makes you go do something outside. But yeah, do you know? Do you guys know any of the other fishing games that are on the Dreamcast? You want to do a quick lightning round of other Dreamcast fishing games? There are only 6.
Lightning round.
Isn't there like a swordfish one?
Jesse, you can start. There's 6 fishing games, including
The swordfish
real.
one.
I'm not going to include Real Fishing Wild because that's already taken by this segment. But yeah, Jesse, name another one of the 5 remaining fishing games for the Sega Dreamcast.
Is there one with the swordfish?
Yeah, but what's it called?
Sword fishing.
No, I'm sorry, that's not the name of it. Johnny, name another. Name an actual Sega Dreamcast fishing game.
The Sega Bass Fishing 2.
Okay, yes, Sega Bass Fishing 2, which was the final fishing game released for the Sega Dreamcast, released months after Real Fishing Wild and months after the announced discontinuation of the Dreamcast. Yes, Jesse, do you want to take a stab at another one? I know you got Swordfish on the brain. You want to take a stab?
Oh, is it
Johnny's
Sega
answer
Marine
should
fishing?
Sega Marine Fishing. That's the one with the swordfish on
I
it.
thought you were going after Marines. Like hoorah.
Right, yeah. It's not really a fishing game at all. It's really a military shooter.
Catfishing game.
Yeah. I'm guessing that Johnny, I have some idea of what your next answer is going to be.
Sega Bass Fishing.
Yes, exactly. Do you know, for a half bonus point, do you know what Sega Bass Fishing is called in Japan?
No.
Jesse, any idea?
Is it that like weird Bass Rush Dream or something?
No, it is not. It's called Get Bass.
Get
Nice.
Bass.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's my
If they-
favorite Beatles song.
If they had called it Get Some Bass, that would be the shit.
oh.
Yeah, Get Some Bass and Get Some Bass too. Sounds like, Jesse, you were on to another one. What's that other fishing game you just mentioned?
Was it Sega Dream or Bass Rush?
Bass Rush Dream. Do you know the subtitle of it? That's what makes this one really great.
No, I do not.
Okay, so it's Bass Rush Dream Eco Gear Power Worm Championship.
Whoa.
Power
Yeah.
Worm.
It's a tie-in to a Japanese fishing lure company. And then I'll just give you the last one.
Wait. Is the last
oh,
one
wait, Johnny-
Legend of the River King?
No, they did
Ah.
not make a Legend of the River King for Dreamcast.
Oh.
No,
God,
the last-
that would be awesome.
The last one is the wonderfully titled Lake Masters Pro Dreamcast Plus.
Man.
Yeah, so
That sounds official.
What's it a plus
I'm saying-
of? Like, is there not plus version on the Dreamcast?
I don't know. That's the thing. Yeah. And it's Dreamcast Plus with an exclamation point.
Yeah,
so
plus what?
they really want you to get Lake Masters Pro Dreamcast Plus. Let's just throw some words at the board. Yeah, the best one I think though is Eco Gear Power Worm Championship because again a tie-in to a lure. Like imagine the fuck you money that you have to have as a fishing lure company to develop your own video game to try and sell more people your fishing lures.
Man.
Like that Eco Gear Power Worm must have been the shit. Or it must have been the most glorious Japanese failed fishing lure ever.
Was 99, 2000, 2001 just peak fishing period?
It might
Like,
have been. I mean,
was there just a lot of money being thrown at fishing and they didn't know what to do with it?
That's right around the time that I remember every now and then, like accidentally, like you never really watch sports, Johnny, but Jesse maybe knows what I'm talking about. Like when ESPN wouldn't actually have like an NFL game, they would show NFL Countdown, and then instead of switching over to NBC or Fox where the actual game's being played, ESPN would just end their coverage, and then it would just be like bass fishing.
Yep.
Yeah, like ESPN had a lot of fishing on, and I think they probably still do on like ESPN too. But yeah, that's about the time, 2000, 2001. That's about the time I remember seeing, fishing on TV for the first time, just thinking, what the fuck? Like, why would I ever have watched this? Like, this is one of the most boring things you can do in real life. Why would I watch other men do it on television? I'm out of here.
I'm going to go play the video game of it instead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I watch this? I'm going to watch it via this fishing controller and this expensive import console. I need to play the Eco Gear Power Worm Championship. But yeah. Fucking A.
Could you
Yeah,
imagine
Dreamcast
telling your
fishing.
grandma that's what you want for Christmas?
Oh God, she would get the wrong one for sure. She'd be like, "Oh, I heard you like fishing," and she gets the fucking
The
know,
not
she'd
plus
get-
version.
yeah, exactly, the unplussed non-Dreamcast version.
This one doesn't have the blood in it.
Yeah, that's what that's what we're really here for. It's plus blood, extra fish blood. But yeah, this was also a request. This one came to us also in Discord from the Link Floyd, who I guess has recently pronounced his love for fishing games on the radio. So
Cool.
I guess we're gonna put that there.
Hey,
Good
Johnny,
request, Link.
Did you catch any fish at MagFest?
I did a little bit of fishing for, in terms of, more like not so much fishing as it is throwing out some bait to get people to come check out our show.
Hey,
I had my stickers on me, and so there was one moment after the nightclub when I was riding down in the elevator, and one guy turned to his friend, was like saying something about I think I might be too drunk, or his friend was like, "Hey man, don't get too drunk," something or other, and he pulls out this big old blunt. And he's like, "So we have to smoke this later," and I'm like, "Yo guys, I got something even better," and I handed them some Game That Tune stickers.
oh man,
They loved
Fucking-
it.
yeah, I bet they did.
Oh yeah.
They're honestly like, this dude's got balls, and
Yeah.
gave me one of those slap fist things, and it was so good.
It'd be so funny if you got charged their smoking fee because they went and stunk out a fucking hotel room with that big fat blunt and then stuck a Game That Tune sticker in there, and you get charged like $300.
No.
Yeah, fucking the hotel concierge feverishly finding out who Game That Tune is. Fucking joint smoking motherfuckers.
God, people
Good
finding
times.
our podcast through weird means.
Who would have thought
Hey.
there could be a weirder means? But yeah, sounds like man, Johnny, you have a lot of good elevator stories at MagFest so far.
For a lot of elevators.
Yeah, you were living it up while you were going down.
Hey.
Game 4.
All right. So this game features several cameos from various different um, famous-ish people, such as Herman Holst, Jordan Vaught Roberts. I think that's how he's a director. He did like Skull Island and stuff.
I know him.
Edgar White, Junji Ito, Jeff Keighley, and Conan O'Brien. All right, gentlemen. Let's see some answers. And don't forget to send likes our way.
Okay.
Oh, so wow. So Johnny drew a penis, and then it says Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, and that's incorrect. And John with the correct answer, Death Stranding. This is a game called Death Stranding.
Didn't
Hideo Kojima made this game, so it's weird. And
am I crazy? Didn't we just do this game?
yeah, well, this has happened several times before, in this new universe, and so I figured I should do this too, because at the time I was thinking about mountain games, and just so happens I'm in a part of the game where I'm going up a lot of mountains, and I was like, oh well, this is perfect.
I'm
And
gonna try and unclench here and really engage with this.
okay, I've got some updates.
Can't wait to hear them.
There some So I'm on chapter 6 now. We've connected most. Okay, so here's one thing that's kind of bothers me about the game. It bothers me in a funny way. So like you're reconnecting these cities, the United Cities of America. And so when it shows you the map, it shows you the whole map of the United States. And I'm like, there is no fucking way that I've gone from like Washington D.C. like over to like fucking Michigan, like with as much as I've walked. Like I know I've walked a long way, but there's no fucking way I've walked to fucking Michigan and then down to fucking Tennessee. That did not happen. But this
It's a
map
pretty long
says
walk.
But this map says it did, so I don't know.
I mean, now is there like a scale on there for reference? Like, is it
Not
actually
really.
the United States or?
Well, it
'Cause-
shows the United States, but I feel like it's going to be some kind of shenanigans
Sure.
at some point.
Like Pilot Wing 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a scale map of America that you were flying around. Very condensed.
It's
So, fucking Kojima probably taking some Pilot Wing 64 inspiration.
probably. Let's see what else has happened. I've gotten some people back together that they thought they were dead, so that's fun. So okay, in this game, I guess going outside isn't like the best thing to do, which obviously we've discussed how rain can fuck you up and all sorts of bad things. So yeah, you really don't want to go outside. But like there's trucks, so like you would think if say you wanted to go somewhere and you're like, "Hey Sam, I need you to take me to this place." You just be like, "I'll just get into the truck get in the truck with you and you can drive us." Right? No, instead you get zipped up into a body bag and I have to carry you on my back. And it's just a upsetting visage of you just hold like with the body on your back. Um Usually they keep like their head, you can see your head. They don't zip it all the way up. They're not fucking like weirdos, right? Um
I don't know, man. This game.
yeah. And so like the one time the first one time I did it and it went very smoothly. The second time I was escorting somebody, I was on a motorcycle and that was fine and I was like, "Oh, we got to go through this little river." And well, I didn't realize the river was really fucking deep. So the
Classic Oregon Trail situation.
Yeah.
the motorcycle sunk. The lady came off of my back, and I'm like trying to doggy paddle towards her, and for a second it looked like she was just like stuck in the middle of the river, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna fix this.
Oh man.
But
You
luckily,
lost a bunch of wagon tongues and one of your kids died.
You always got to pay a local to help you, fjord it.
yeah,
Exactly.
but,
Fjorded.
wait, that's something else.
Yeah, that's not the word. Attempt to fjord the river.
Yeah. Like, first it was a river, now it's a fjord.
Exactly. The Native American made it a fjord. It's one of their words. Oh, God.
But
Sorry, Jesse. Keep going.
that's all right. So then we got her safe. Let's see. We've learned that those like ghost things might actually be like ghosts, and so like
Looks like a ghost, acts like a ghost,
Yeah.
turns out it is a ghost.
so there's this part in
Big shocking twist. They're ghosts.
I streamed this game recently, and you can like go back and see this kind of upsetting part, where so there's this lady, and she does a lot of like the sciencey stuff. They call her Mama, which really makes sense in a minute. So you have to go meet her, and she's like, I can't leave the place I'm at, so you have to come find me. And so you go and find her, and so your baby detects when there's little ghost people are around, like the little monitor starts flapping. And
Yes, I
so
do know that.
Yeah, so I told last time.
Yes, I
the
retain
baby-
that.
Yeah, the baby tells you that the ghost people are there, because it's a baby. So you get in there and you're like, hey, there's one of those things in here. And the lady's like, oh, don't worry. And then you see like a ghost baby crawling on the ceiling, and there's like a ghost umbilical cord that goes down to the woman. And so then she holds the baby. And so then she creates this thing. So early on in the game, like right at the beginning, you get this like wrist thing that just looks like handcuffs that you put both sides on one of your wrists. So that's kind of upsetting in a weird way.
Describing a bracelet?
Yeah, well, no, it's handcuffs. Like you could wear it as handcuffs. They don't, but it looks just like handcuffs. I feel like there's some kind of weird message there.
I'm sure there is. Sure, this game's loaded with symbolism, or maybe it's not.
It's all coincidence.
It's just a real straightforward game, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what you see is what you get. Turns out they're ghosts.
What it says on the box.
Yeah, the deaths are stranded.
Yeah.
So like you find out that she was having a baby when the first like big like bad thing happened to the world. And so the baby died, but then like one of those ghost babies showed up, and so she's like, well, I'm gonna keep this.
The ghost is my baby. I'm gonna raise the ghost.
But the thing it wasn't her baby, because she creates this thing where you can like cut the BTs, the ghost people, like, and they'll go away. And so you use this to cut the umbilical cord. And then you see like a ghost lady up there, like reaching for the ghost baby, and the ghost baby goes to the ghost lady.
Okay, that's nice.
And so that's cool. But then you're like, wait, so this living lady, was just keeping this ghost baby away from her ghost mother. That's kind of fucked up.
I mean, I don't think she did it on purpose.
No,
You know,
she
was-
did. She even says, she's like, I knew it was one of their babies,
Oh,
but
okay. Well,
but I missed my baby and I wanted my baby. And,
yeah, I thought it was
so-
a mother in mourning type thing.
yeah, and
I don't know.
it's weird. This game's weird.
Yes, it is.
I fought in World War One briefly, which was weird. Because it's crazy. Like
yes.
you show up at one of the places, and then you're just like standing there, and they're like, Sam, you've been standing here for like a minute, not saying anything. And he's like, dude, I've been gone for like hours, and we were in some trenches, and there was mustard gas and people in those weird helmets, and they're like, yeah, sure thing, Sam. And then they do some research, and they're like, well, the history books now say that some weird guy was in World War One, and we think that might be you. And some of our like radio data says they picked up voices that are from World War. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like this game just keeps on hitting. But like besides the story being just fucking like smashing your brain with like a beer can, like it's still so fun to just like travel places and try to like figure out how you're gonna get there, and building new things to like help you. Like the newest thing is the fucking zip line. This thing is awesome.
Okay, now you got my attention.
Yeah. Oh, so I've been like just
Fucking love
spending
zip
time
lines.
making zip lines around the area through the mountains, and so it's like 300-meter distance in between each zip line, and you can get where you're going pretty good. It looks cool every time.
Hell yeah.
It's I don't know what it is, but just when you have a whole bunch of zip lines connected together and you're just flying around the area and not having to worry about anything, it's a real nice feeling.
Yeah, it's called being rad as shit, man.
Yeah,
Zip lines
it's
rule.
cool.
Like, it's the preferred way to get places. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck
You
your
should use them more
motorcycle.
in real society.
Yeah.
There should be mass transit zip lines, is what I'm saying.
I agree.
I see no issues that arise from this.
None.
None.
I haven't used it yet, but I did get a package cannon that I can set up somewhere and launch packages places, which seems not great.
That
but-
doesn't that kind of undo the entire like point of the game? Aren't you supposed to walk the packages places?
Well, I'll say I also unlocked some robots that I can send on missions. And the thing is, and this is what I like to do, is I send the robots on the hardest missions I can, because it's so fun to see like their report when they turn stuff in to see how fucked up they did.
Mm.
And then whenever I do a mission, I usually get like an S rating or an A rating, and I'm like, see, humans are better than robots, motherfucker.
There you go.
And it's like I like to because it'll show you on the map. You're like, okay, he has to go up this mountain and through this lake, and like sometimes the stuff they're sending isn't supposed to get submerged underwater or anything. And so all that comes back. It's like, oh, this thing was 87% damaged. This thing was like lost completely. This thing. And I'm sure the people I'm sending them to send their stuff is real upset. Like, why did you even send the robot if it was only going to send half my shit? Why couldn't you do it? And I'm like, oh.
Because you needed for some reason to prove that
Yeah.
you're better than a robot by having a robot fuck everything up.
Yeah.
Weird angle you're playing here, Jesse.
I'm building zip lines.
Yeah, exactly. I'm too busy building zip lines. You can have your fucking shitty
Yeah.
package, and the next person that gets their package, they'll know I'm better than that robot was.
Yeah.
That's
Thank God you're here.
yeah. Oh, good. You're not a robot.
And the
or
robot
are
is-
you?
The robot is basically 2 legs with a basket on top. So it's real stupid looking. It's great.
Good.
What was the other thing? One of the missions was I had to bring all these sewing machines to this cosplayer.
Oh fuck.
Which I'm thinking, where are you cosplaying?
Yeah, it's like hell that you're living in. Why is there a cosplayer?
Yeah, what are you cosplaying as?
Yeah.
But her husband is Conan O'Brien. And so like he like also makes stuff sometimes, and he makes this fun little otter hoodie, and so he gives it to you for bringing them stuff. And
Now,
it's
I mean,
real
is
cute.
her husband played by Conan
Played
O'Brien,
by
or
Conan.
she is married to that world's Conan O'Brien?
His name is the Wandering MC.
Okay,
So,
that's weird.
and it sounds like him. It looks like him. He makes some real dumb otter jokes. It's
Yeah, I
great.
saw the picture you shared in Discord. It does look a lot like him. It's fucking. I'm like, I'm sorry. What the fuck is going on in Death Stranding? Why is Conan there? I've been watching his his Conan Must Go show on Max. I'm like,
Oh, I want to watch
yeah,
that.
it's good.
Oh yeah.
I bet you he's not playing the same. Bet you he's not playing Death Stranding the exact same way, or maybe he is. I don't know. Is he crazier in Death Stranding or in his Hot Ones interview, Jesse?
Probably Hot Ones.
Yeah, he goes kind of crazy on that. It's good.
Jesse, if I didn't know this game is real, I would just think you're just so full of shit during this whole
Yeah,
segment. Everything
Jesse's
you're saying,
just baked out of his mind and he's
Yeah.
making shit up.
no goddamn sense.
Yeah,
I've
I didn't want to scold you live on air, Jesse, but you do realize, last week or last episode when we featured this show, it fully shut Johnny down. Johnny didn't say anything during this segment last time we talked about this game, and you brought it back.
It's called exposure therapy, John. The more
yeah, exactly. I'm
not
not sure that Johnny really can handle this game. It's like, no. Games should make some sense, right? Hedgehog go fast. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Celeste, you jump and jump again, and it's platforming. That makes sense. Nothing you've said makes any sense. It doesn't sound like a game at all.
you take a shower with Guillermo del Toro's character.
I don't like that.
I'm just
I don't like that at
imagining.
all.
You talk about how the
Well-
babies. You talk about how the babies detect ghosts, and I'm just thinking about how can you imagine some kind of ghost hunting show where instead of pulling out some kind of electromagnetic whatever monitor device, they just pull out a baby.
Yeah. What do you think, son? He's asleep.
So
Give him a minute.
Sam names the baby, which is real weird. I mean,
it's
I
his
guess-
baby. Why
I guess-
shouldn't he fucking name
most
the
people,
baby? What are you
most
talking?
people name babies, Jesse.
Well,
Yeah, that's
there's
not
nothing
weird at all, Jesse. You're confusing what's weird here. You give a baby a name.
Do you not name babies? This is
Well-
concerning.
Well, you let them pick it out. No.
Cactus.
Yeah. So, well, in this universe,
It's very weird to name a baby.
well, these babies are like tools somehow, which is still really fucked up.
That's the weird thing. Yes.
But so Guillermo del Toro's
The
character
weird thing.
comes to you and he's like, "Hey,
one
like I think I told you that this baby was messed up, and that's why it's having weird dreams of Mads Mikkelsen, and which you fight him in World War I, by the way. That's one of the
Good.
boss fights. It's real fucked up.
I was
It's-
worried about that.
It's
Yeah.
such like a.
I was
Metal Gear
worried the
Solid
World War
boss
One
fight.
segment was going to be so short that there would be no boss fight.
So you named him Lou. But he comes to tell you, he's like, "Yo."
Lou?
Yeah. I don't know why he came up with that name.
Like Captain Lou?
Yes.
What the fuck?
All right.
And
That's
so,
a weird name for a baby. That's the kind of name that an adult named Lewis gets. You don't name a baby Lou.
and so he's like, we've done some more. I've looked more into your baby or your BB, and it's real messed up. We're gonna try to fix it for you. So you're gonna be without it for a little bit, and that's when he pushes you in the shower and turns it on. And the reason he does that is he's trying to tell you some information that he doesn't want Die Hard Man to hear. And
It all
so
seems stink.
so it's more of a a diversionary tactic. It's not sexy or anything. I mean, it could be sexy, but the intentions were not sexy. But what you find sexy, that's not my judge. But he's like, he's like, look, you're gonna be without the baby for a little bit. So lately, I haven't had the baby, which makes those ghost things just popping up out of nowhere real fucked up, because you don't see them as often. Like, it starts raining, and you're like, okay, they could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And
Don't want to go anywhere without my baby.
yeah, so
So babies are like umbrellas in this world.
kinda. Well,
Yeah.
not really, no, because the rain still fucks up your stuff, and if you get caught in the snow is worse. Timefall snow,
Mm.
it eats away your stuff faster than regular rain. So, and currently, what's his name? Tom.
Are we
The
sure
voice
this
actor
game's
guy?
real?
Troy Baker. Troy Baker is in
Not sure, Johnny.
is in California, trying to kill the president, and I'm trying to get there to stop it.
Of course.
As well as connect everyone. So basically, in this game, you are a UPS driver, a cable guy, and Uber Eats, because sometimes you bring people pizza.
But you're also fighting World War One, and now you're trying to stop a presidential assassination, and someone took away your baby
Yeah. Well, the
Named
World
Lou.
War One thing was totally unintentional. That just
and made
happened.
you take a shower with Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. But he's trying to warn me that there's some shenanigans going on.
Yeah. I would say there are some shenanigans going on. Thanks for the warning, Guillermo.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. The good news is zip lines.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's one really great takeaway from this whole discussion today, Jesse.
They're
zip
really
lines
good zip lines.
Remain cool.
Like, seriously. You probably see some in my, if you look at the old video, that's when I was starting to get to them, and
Good.
I got a pretty good system during that stream of zip lines going. I was very proud of them.
Hell yeah.
Good zip
Should be.
lines.
Zip lines are good.
Yeah.
Well,
It's still got the hooks in me.
I can tell.
I
I can really tell.
Yeah.
It's a
I
weird
can-
fucking game. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I will continue to put up with your recountings of it. I don't think I'm going to play this.
Speaking of weird games, my college roommate had a
Oh,
indie
hey, a
arcade
MagFest
game
story.
at MagFest. Yeah. No, so my college roommate had an indie arcade game at MagFest. It's called Touch Hands Arcade, and it's a game where you stand across from each other and you're both looking at, a monitor. And there's some controls in front of you, there's some controls in front of the other guy. A random mini game pops up and the controls are completely scrambled. And when I say completely, I mean they're not necessarily on your side even. Like, you may have to move your ship to blast some asteroids, and it might be one of the other player's buttons. It's completely random. Hence the name.
Man, you're
Touch
gonna be
hands.
touching hands.
You're probably gonna touch the other guy's hands as you're trying to fumble around, figure out what's going on.
What if you played with your dicks?
I don't know if it was built for that. So one thing that's
Because
fun.
then you could touch dicks.
One thing that's fun about it is it has a built-in hand sanitizer dispenser, so you can hand sandy before or after whatever it is you want to do.
That's good.
And it was funny because when we were mates in college, he was more like into art and things like that, right? So I was like, so what did you do on this game? Did you do the art for it, or did you direct it in some role? Like, what part did you do? He's like, oh, I did all of it. Like, I wrote the code, I wired the joysticks, I built the box it's all in. Like, he did everything. I was like, oh, that's
Wow.
dope.
Yeah.
That sounds
What an
cool.
interesting game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The arcade game that makes you touch hands.
Or dicks.
Game
It's
5.
called Touch Hands or whatever. All right, guys. So, this game is the first game from this publisher to utilize an autosave function. All right, guys. How you feeling?
Oh, that song gave it away.
Good. I hope so. Okay, no one's trying to win tonight. Johnny says once again Lisa, and Jesse said Joe versus the volcano. Both sadly incorrect.
Nice.
No, guys. Yes. No, this is a recent release that I've been playing. A game that maybe some people have heard of. I'm not sure about this lot, but this is a game called Metaphor Refantasio. Yeah.
So
If Jesse
is
were
Taz
trying to
in it?
win the game, he probably would have been able to get that right. But
Is Taz
well.
in it?
no.
Well, it has his name in the title.
Yes. Taz famously, his first name is Refan. His last name is EO. Taz, the big takeaway from this game is Taz.
It's Taz.
Yeah, it's Taz. But yeah, no, it's Metaphor Refantasio, a Atlas RPG from the people that usually make Persona games. Now they've made this game that is not Persona.
What?
But man, it sure seems like it was made by the people that make Persona, and it's a lot like Persona. And I say that with minimal expertise on the Persona series. It's apparently also very related to the Shin Megami Tensei series. There's
But
a lot
do you
of
like it?
that is the key distinction here, Jesse. I really like this game. I find the Persona games charming, and I would like to enjoy them. But as has been my complaint about every one of the Persona games or Atlas games that I attempted to play up until this point in my life, I find them very hard. And I know there's probably a lot of RPG heads out there that are like, okay, well, get good, fuck you, do your grinding, get better at the game, suck it up. I don't want to have to do that. I enjoy playing a game and doing the grind but I don't enjoy what happened to me when I was playing Persona 5, where I had done a lot of grinding and then I got caught in an inescapable battle uh, after a few hours of playing and having not made it back to a save point yet. And I died and got a game over and lost like 3 hours of progress. I don't like that at all. Like,
Yeah.
don't waste my motherfucking time, game. Like, I don't mind learning the game and learning the ins and outs of the battles and doing the grinding and playing the game. But if the game has that kind of time wasting built into it where I can lose a lot of progress, I'm not going to play the game. And so it turns out, as I said in the trivia, this is the first game that Atlas has ever made that uses autosave. So if you get into an inescapable battle and you get bodied by some random fucking monster in one of the dungeons, you only go back about 10 feet that way. It's kind of forgiving in the same way as Celeste. It's like, okay, well, this is fucking hard. And okay, I might not be like, I don't have the right like skills and shit equipped to be in this dungeon, as I just found out because I just got fucking destroyed by that monster. Thank God I didn't lose hours worth of progress. I'm just going to change my things around and try again. And, man, what wonders that does for my enjoyment of a fucking game. Like,
Modern sensibility.
I mean, it's just, again, I'm not asking for like the game to be, I don't know, baby, like, hand-holdy or like anything, like, if I want to, I could still turn the difficulty up. I'm playing on the medium difficulty. I could still make the game harder if I wanted to, but like, man, I just, that was the thing that killed me in Persona. It's like I fucking, I lost a bunch of progress in the very first dungeon. I'm like, fuck this. I'm done. This game, man, I'm willing to put in the time just knowing that I won't lose it. That's the important thing. I've been playing the game. I've been having a blast. I've been doing the side missions. I've been doing the main stuff. It's cool, man. It's it's a Persona type game in a high fantasy setting.
It looks neat.
Yeah, it is neat. It's pretty cool. It's got the Persona style to it. I mean, like, when I say the Persona style, I mean like it's funny, like it's so easy for these games to seem, like boring. It's a turn-based RPG. But like, man, what wonders it also does for the game feeling fun and engaging to just have things like, dynamic camera movements and menus with fancy lettering on them and, fun animations and shit. Like,
They're good at
you know,
style.
it's just got like little touches of style. It's just like, all right, yeah, cool. Like, even as they get repetitive, I've been playing the game for hours and hours, and it's like, yeah, okay, the battle animations at the end are still always kind of the same thing, but like, I don't know, man. It's got style. I'm enjoying it. It's cool. And yeah, I'm intrigued to keep going in the story. I'm enjoying it so far. So, it's pretty straightforward. It turns out, and I've read this, excuse me, one of the trivia pieces. I hate to spoil things for you, but it said that this is one of the only games from like the Megami Tensei or from the Persona series where the villain is not hiding the fact that he's the villain at all.
Oh.
Like the game opens with an opening cutscene. There's a sickly old king lying in bed, and you're like, oh man, damn, what's going on with this king? Boom, he's stabbed to death. Who did it? This handsome looking motherfucker who appears to be like some very regal knight. Turns out he's like the head of the king's like guard. His name's Luis, not Lou. He's not a little
Lou.
baby in Death Stranding. Nobody calls him Lou.
Hey, Lou.
And yeah, he kills the king and he wants to take over the kingdom. And, he's the villain throughout the game. It's like, there's no, no real like secret to that. You're really trying to take this guy down the whole time. And it gets complicated because, you're playing as the protagonist, who in this case, of course, I gave my name. It's an unnamed protagonist, but
What's
like not
his name, John?
It is John. Yeah. Or no, I'm sorry. It's Jay Gangsta. What am I thinking? Because they're never gonna say it out loud. So it's like, they're just gonna refer to me as you or that lad or whatever. But yeah, and so you're tasked with coming to the kingdom and taking out Luis, and you have to find ways to do that, and you meet some friends along the way. Some of them have some very Persona-esque like awakenings to like a power inside them they didn't know about. Yeah, I don't know how much you played of the Persona games, Jesse, but like when Persona 3 probably the when you played the most, I'm guessing. What happens when like the characters like like take on their new powers or whatever?
Well, in like Persona 3, like they don't transform. It's like a demon comes out.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you summon a demon, but
and how do you do it?
in 3 you have like a thing that looks like a gun, and you put it up to your head,
right?
And then you click it, and then like glass shatters, and
okay,
you like go back, and then a demon shows up.
Really stylish and cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. That's kind of the same thing they got going here in Metaphor. Like early on in the game, as your party characters are having their heroic awakenings, they start giving a fucking giant speech, and then they plunge their hand into their chest and rip out a fucking heart and keep giving this big, like wrestling babyface speech, holding this fucking like pulsing metal heart that they ripped out of their own body, and then they take on the form of whatever their fucking like dominant trait is. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is really cool. Like, awesome. This is very reminiscent of Persona 3, where they blew their own brains out to take on like these monstrous forms. Like, yeah, these guys should rip their hearts out and declare what they're gonna do throughout the entire game. Cool. Fuck yeah, good. Like, I'm here for this. And then it takes the weird turn that it turns out. So it's not a big spoiler. Luis, obviously the bad guy, doesn't immediately take the throne because naturally the spirit of the king turns up and declares, hey, you can't just like, I was the king. You can't just have the throne. You're not, But if people want you to have the throne, then fine. How about we hold an election? Oh. And so the game becomes a game in which you're trying to elect a new king, and you yourself have to enter the race. And so you have to do things throughout the game to raise your popularity ranking with the people and take on side missions to, like kill monsters and earn your renown and do all this stuff to increase your rank to eventually be possibly elected king, or, do whatever it is you're doing to take out Luis. It's an interesting little way to, just be like, yeah, why would this guy like take on side missions if he's like determined to, kill this one guy? Oh, because he's actually like got to act like he's trying to get elected king, so he's got to take on favors and fucking talk to people, and it's cool. It's a fun game, man. It's got a killer style. The environments and towns and things are really cool. I think I'm maybe a little less than halfway through the game. And the music is super cool. I don't know if you enjoyed that rapping in that last song. But yeah, I had to look up once because I started playing the game, and then I was like, oh, it's the Persona guy. So it's going to be like, maybe there's going to be some Persona style music in there. And then turns out, no, it's not like Persona at all. It's more like a classic kind of classical video game score. Like the battles have like a Soul Calibur-ish, quality to them, like really bombastic, good battle music. But then some of the fights against some of the bigger monsters, you get this motherfucker spitting bars in there in a language that I don't understand. And I'm just like, okay, hold on. What am I hearing here? And turns out he's like some priest of a Buddhist temple in Japan that they got to rap in some strange combination. I'm not sure how much of it is Japanese and how much of it is Esperanto, and then how much of it is also the made-up in-game language of the game. But I've looked up videos of this guy like performing at the announcement of the this game, and it's like, damn, this it's like bring a Buddhist monk in here and sit him down, and he starts just spitting fucking bars in unknowable language. I love this shit. It's like just gives the whole thing a real cool, weird quality. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. Really digging it. It's something completely different than what I usually play. I'm glad to be doing a big time RPG and not having it punish me for not being very good at RPGs, because I just again, I'm willing to play the game and do and put in the time. I just can't lose the time. Like I dig it. So I'm looking forward to keeping on going. I want to see where it's going, because there is also like some weird, it seems to be some sort of fantasy and some sort of metaphor they're playing at.
Huh.
Like the
Any
the race.
symbolism?
There's some symbolism. I think obviously I don't know where the story is headed, but
Wait,
like
did Kojima make this?
no, because fucking Death Stranding is nothing but empty symbolism. There's nothing under there, or maybe there will be. Who knows? But yeah, in the game world, there's like 8 unique races of people, and it's like some of them have like horns, some of them have wings, some of them have like dog ears. Like we're talking like pretty distinct races of characters and creatures. One of the guys you get in your party, he's not Batman, but he is a Ujif, which is a tribe of small bat-like men. And I was like, sorry, I'm just gonna call this guy Batman the whole time. Like he's a badass. He kills things. He's also a bat. He's Batman, but uh, at different points in the game, your main character is reading a book that you keep with you, and you're like one of the only characters in the game that likes to read. And it's a book about a fantasy world, like a fantasy kind of utopia world where there are no races. So there's like classes and a class system of these different races, but in this fantasy world, there's only one race, and everything is good, and people are it's like a utopia story. And whenever they're talking about this, they're showing scenes of like just little flashes of the book and like this cool like paint style, and it looks a lot like modern Tokyo. So it's like, I'm sorry, are they saying that like our world is a utopia because we only have the one race, the human race, and there's no there should be no classes to divide us and things like that? Wow, what a nice idea. I'm not sure if that's where it's going, but also in their world, there's these giant monsters that you're fighting, but they don't call them monsters. Guess what they call them? Humans. Mind blown. These big hideous creatures. And they're like, oh my god, is that a human? Oh, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, it's the deadliest creature there is, a human. And so maybe, just maybe, they're gonna bring it around to some kind of broader point about either our world being a good place that's got the bones of a utopian society, or us being ultimately evil monsters. I'm not really sure. So I'm looking forward to seeing which one it turns out to be, because maybe it's both.
Ooh.
Maybe we were once a utopian place, but then something happened and we're turned into hideous monsters. And I'm talking like fucking like some sick dang ass freaks in this game. It's not like 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 the humans in this game. It's not like they're like zombies or anything. It's like no, they're fucking giant hideous freaks. It's awesome. So it's a cool game. I'm really enjoying it. Good tunes, cool characters, just really unique setting, and I'm looking forward to keeping on going. And again, if I die at some point in the game, I lose a couple of minutes of progress and I just keep going. That's the thing. It's my ability to keep going in this game, despite being bad at it. It's great. I'm really, really digging it. So I'm very happy about this one. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. Jesse, at some point I'll get you my PS5. Once I'm done with this, you can play it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's on your system too, and it'll turn up on Game Pass at some point, but it's dope. They did a really nice job with this. What do you think, guys? You want to do a bonus game?
I don't know if I have it in me tonight, guys. I'll be honest.
That's fine. We can edit this part out.
Yeah.
We'll save it for another time. Man, fucking in that case, Johnny, it's time to hit that calculated computer.
Calculating computer activated. Computers. Beeps. Beeps. Scoring complete. This game's winner is...
Oh, wait, hold on, sorry.
This game's winner is... John Regan.
Yeah, why not? Johnny tried to win it at some point by giving one correct answer. So, also Johnny went to MagFest. That wins you the show automatically.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, Johnny. I didn't let you tell a MagFest story that relates to Metaphor Refantasio. Did you run into any sick, dang-ass freak humans while you were at MagFest?
Well, I was there.
Okay, well, fair enough. Oh, well, good, Johnny. I'm glad that you were there. You dang-ass freak. Telling you don't want to be the humans in this game. They're a little too weird. You're the good kind of weird. The humans in this in Metaphor, they're the disgusting kind of weird. So don't be like them. Be like you, Johnny.
Can do.
Yeah, good. So what are you thinking for the next episode of Game That Tune?
I was thinking games with zero violence.
Hey, we haven't done that theme in a while.
Yeah.
I like that.
Have we ever done that theme? This might be a new theme.
Oh yeah, we've done that theme.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean in the previous universe.
Yeah.
Ages ago, in a whole different time. But yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah, non-violent games.
So no violins. What about fiddles?
Yeah, those are fine.
But no violins. Okay.
Oh God, I didn't hear. I was like, what's he talking about? Fiddles?
I was waiting. I was like, wow, Johnny's really no selling that joke. Yeah, but what if it's a violent fiddling that takes place in the game?
God, sounds terrible.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a game in which you fiddle someone violently.
Oh, I don't even want to know what part of the balls that involves.
Whole different control system.
So you need that Sega.
That's like a fiddle controller.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not used to jerking myself off like this. How am I supposed to play this? Just rub a bow across your penis.
Once.
Yeah, violently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, so games with no violence. I'm into it. I'm sure that we still have some of those to play. So yeah, good call, Johnny. Now, actually, here's a question. Now, I know you haven't played Celeste, but in that game, you are not capable of committing a violent act. You're just climbing a mountain. You're jumping.
Yeah.
And, making your way up the mountain. However, you meet various violent ends in that game. You fall into a lot of spikes and get crushed by things and have to restart. Do games in which that, like if the game does violence unto your character, but you're not a violent character, would that count?
That would not be allowed. No, I'm going to say
so
zero violence.
Zero violence. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I really thought of that as I'm like, well, hold on, because sometimes it's
that's a good question.
Fun little game that fucks you up. So cool.
Yeah,
Zero violence.
No spikes, no death traps, no Viet Cong. What do they call those
punji
pits?
Sticks?
Yeah,
punji sticks.
Yeah, exactly. No punji pits. No napalm death.
No, none of that.
Yeah, no games. So you're telling me no Vietnam War games, John?
Absolutely no.
Yeah, if you could find the non-violent Vietnam War game, though.
Yeah, you can find a Vietnam War game that takes place entirely in an office.
Mm-hmm. God, imagine that. Oh, Charlie Sheen.
Oh, you guys are breaking up on my end.
Oh,
what's going on here?
It was Charlie Sheen that was in the Vietnam movie, not Charlie Daniels.
Well,
yes.
Charlie Daniels wrote Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Is that about Vietnam War?
No, it's just about a violent fiddling.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've danced around it enough. Yeah. I think we all understand. It's going to be good. We're going to go down to Georgia and look for a soul to steal. Is there a way to steal someone's soul non-violently? I mean, obviously a fiddle contest is pretty non-violent, but I mean, still the soul being on the line almost implies a violent, thing. So
yeah, it kind of implies you're going to hell, right? Like, I think. I assume.
Did you know?
But like, do you think had the devil won that contest, like, would he have Shang Tsung'd poor Johnny and just like sucked his soul out and left his husk there holding the fiddle, or
probably.
Or would it be more like, all right, well, come on, we're leaving. Like, walk with me to hell.
I I learned recently that you can't sell your soul on eBay anymore.
Oh,
Anymore.
Yeah, one guy tried to do it, and they're like, "We don't think this can legally happen because what are you giving them? Like, what? What
Yeah.
I mean, we all saw the episode of The Simpsons. He
Yeah,
signed signed the fucking document over. What's the problem?
Will they let you trade it for some Alf Pogs?
No.
Mm.
Okay, well, fuck, man. eBay's fucked.
Yeah.
That's a shame. You know, fucking eBay going woke.
Back to
Not letting you
Craigslist.
sell your soul anymore.
Back in my day.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez Louise. Anyway, cool, Johnny. Non-violent games
Have you
next
seen
week.
the cost of souls today? God.
Exactly. You know, what's this going to do about the cost of souls?
I know.
You know, calling it the Gulf of America does nothing to lower the cost of souls.
I know.
So,
Now that soul flu. Oh.
oh man. Yeah, so what a show. What an episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks to our live viewers, twitch.tv/GameThatTune. Not a whole lot of you on this Thursday night recording, but it happens. Twitch.tv/GameThatTune is the home for our live recordings. We're usually on Wednesdays. Come and watch with us. We love seeing you guys in the chat room. Thanks to everybody checking us out in podcast form. Our podcasts come out Tuesday mornings at GameThatTune.com or anywhere that you get your podcasts. We always appreciate you guys listening, rating, reviewing, doing all those things for Game That Tune. Share us with your friends. Thank you, everybody, checking out Patreon, patreon.com/GameThatTune, where we've got our awesome exclusives and we've got our means of receiving money from you guys to keep the lights on at our 24/7 video game music live stream, gttradio.com. And really, it feels good to have the support of our wonderful patrons. We appreciate you guys every day. So thank you very much, everybody that checks out patreon.com/GameThatTune. Of course, special thanks to our absurd fans. Talking about Daniel Perky, Sam L, Phoenix Tier 2121, Beast Pond, HCO, and Spanky Mick Masters, a fantastic group of Patreon absurd fans. We got a couple of requests tonight. Thank you once again to the Link Floyd in Discord and Beast Pond, Patreon absurd fan Beast Pond in Discord. Thank you both for those fantastic requests. Discord's the best place to make them. So check the show notes for the Discord link. Join us, chat along with us, hang out. We love seeing you guys. Love getting your requests. Love playing the songs that you want to hear here on Game That Tune. And so, with that in mind, Johnny is going to play his bonus tunes.
Yeah.
The songs that we all want to hear. Johnny, I'm sure, has fantastic bonus tunes lined up, and he's going to tell us about them right now. So let's hear it.
I do. I just picked a classic song from a classic violent game.
Violent game, of course.
Moon Beach from Streets of Rage.
Ooh.
Hell yeah, man. None of this next week, so soak it up, y'all. Peace out, everybody. Thunderbirds is copyright 1990 Pac-In Video. Celeste is copyright 2018 Maddie Makes Games. Real Fishing Wild is copyright 2001 Natsume Incorporated. Death Stranding is copyright 2019 Kojima Productions Company Limited. Metaphor ReFantasio is copyright 2024 Atlas Company Limited.
And there we go.